All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Philosophy of Fitness podcast. My name is Haley. I'm going to be your host today and every single day that you are tuning in. Today, I am joined by Dan Wilson. Welcome.
Hey, guys.
What's up?
Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure seeing you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So for everyone tuning in, Dan has a really interesting story in terms of the alcohol-free beverage space, which is really emerging topic that I'm so fascinated about because I've been alcohol free for 9 months now. So it's something that I'm really interested in. So I would love to hear, what kind of pushed you in that direction, where it all began.
Alcohol free. It's such a term that has really risen recently, especially with the bigger, kind of breweries even going into it, like Budweiser and stuff. Alcohol free, it went from like sober curious trend and before just like sober. It's really cool to just wanted to point out like the fact that we're going from you're sober, it's black and white, to now where it's just an adjustment to your lifestyle, which is exactly what is like really fascinating about it. So, but before all this, like what chose alcohol free for me, there's obviously some genetical issues, with disease and all that. That was my main driver, but, and I'm pretty open about talking about, like that just kind of drove me. I saw the other side of, it was more of an obstacle for me. So I decided to just see how I wanted to, live life without it. Took a long time, and it was about like 34 months of, being alcohol free. And it was super, super mind opening, and learned a lot about, how to kind of take away from the substance type of society. Congrats on the 9 months, by the way. That's big. What have you found yourself to, be as a challenge, or what have you seen actually as like a benefit maybe, or you look back at something that you look at, what caused that, and, what perspective do you have now on it and stuff? I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's something I really haven't shared with many people just because I feel like there's kind of a stigma around it. But for me, it was a personal choice. I just felt like it was kind of holding me back physically in terms of, workouts and everything, and also just mentally and spiritually as well. And I kind of just decided, I was like, you know what, I'm going to kind of try to cut this out of my life and see what it can do for me. And it was the best decision I made. Like I've never felt better. And it's been an interesting journey. It's definitely, the lockdown has sort of affected it now because people can't really go anywhere. So I think it's actually made it easier in some ways.
Yeah, true. That's a good perspective right there.
Yeah. But, it was kind of just this, it was the start of 2020. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try, and I'm just going to see how long I can go for. And then the more I started not having it, I was like, you know what, I really don't miss it that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was good, but sometimes, I felt like sometimes it was just, the risks were greater than the rewards,
Yeah. You don't have to wake up hungover anymore. Like,
right. But really, it's like, as a person who likes to watch their, not only mental wellness, but physical wellness, like yourself, we don't want to really have something that would take us away from, being able to go on a long run or a hike, or, things like that. Lately I've kind of been all over the place with work, and I'm really I'm struggling with like the balance, especially with a new job and new state, new house, and leaving kind of going on my own. It's like, it's been tough. It's about balance, really. I feel like that's like the most crucial thing ever. And that's why I've been loving doing yoga lately.
Oh, really?
I'm like, yeah. Oh, I love it. It's like one of my favorite ways to do, fitness, and activities like that.
That's awesome.
Nice way to get like inside and, just kind of like stretch out, but also sometimes get a really nice workout in.
Yeah, for sure. I would kind of wish I did more yoga, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm really into meditation. Like that's a
Yeah. I
huge part of
love,
my daily
yes.
routine.
That's what got me into
So,
yoga.
oh,
I think.
really?
Yeah. Yeah. So are you trained to be like like a meditation leader? I know you're
No,
involved
not
in,
yet.
okay.
Yeah, I just do it on my own.
Got you. That's awesome. I'm curious
Yeah.
into, I want to like kind of learn into something, more like that and see what I don't know what certifications you need, but do you even really need anything to be open-minded? I mean, that's an argument in
Yeah, I don't
itself.
know. That's a good question.
Is it really just like the consumerist, like, thought here that we're driving, oh, we need certifications to be good at something? I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, especially with something kind of, as esoteric as like meditation is. I
Yeah.
mean, how do you even certify someone in that? So,
That's so
I
true.
don't know.
I think that's just like the most egregious thing now that I think about it. Do what you want to see out there. Like, just that's it.
Yeah.
Help each other out and just talk to people. Like I love Reconnected. I love, like, just approaching random people here. I love meeting people of all types of you know ethnicities, races, perspectives, and that ultimately helps me out, especially like being an Uber driver and stuff on the side. Like, I learned a lot about
Oh,
that because
okay.
of yeah.
You do Uber on the side?
Yeah, I do Uber on the
What's the
side.
craziest passenger you had?
Craziest passenger. Um, I, that's a great question. That's like the most common question. I think I didn't do it that much. I did on my way to and from work, so it wasn't like any like loopy stories. I was
Okay.
commuting like an hour and a half in and out, so I was like, I'm probably just gonna use that to Uber. There's been some really rewarding ones. I can't really think of any bad ones because I've always learned something, like, from everyone. Honestly, I did like 200 drives, and I just like have a good moment from the majority of them, which is super cheesy, but like
Wow.
it's true. It's like, I don't know. Like, I didn't talk to all of them, obviously, but the people who are like, "Hey, how's your night going?" Like, that obviously means they want to talk.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just leaving work and I'm heading home. Like, to be honest, I'm tired as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I think the coolest one, this girl, she had a disability. I wouldn't say disability, but I believe she was blind. Yeah, she was blind. I drove by her, actually, and I was like, because it's tough. All I see on that side of things is like, um, you know, name, star, and how far away they are. So
Oh,
like, I,
yeah.
I really like, so unfortunately I drove by her, but then she called me and I picked her up, and she was actually an author. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
you were one of those most intelligent people I've ever met, and you don't have a disability at all. I'm actually like, you should be like almost blessed that you have that ability. And she's like, yeah, I mean, that's all I know. But a lot of people don't think that, that hit me hard. So yeah, that was one of my
Yeah.
favorite Uber rides. I miss it. I haven't done it since all this quarantine stuff. I've been working in the field, but obviously with masks,
Yeah.
but just things have completely changed. But
Oh my gosh, quarantine has changed everything. And I even think too about how many people have started either like they've had a career switch during
mm,
this pandemic, or they've started something on the side. I mean,
mm,
I know so many people that have completely kind of like switched their path, like started something up, myself included. Like I
yeah,
started this, the
I
quarantine was when
know.
I started this. So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
amazing.
And you
And
moving too, like in
yeah,
the middle of it is pretty crazy.
yeah, yeah, that was pretty crazy. No, I mean, like, it honestly feels like this year has been super long for some reason. And I feel like you've just, like, it's developed into this, which, like, I've seen, like, like the start from your thing, the start of your podcast. And like, it feels like it's been on for much longer, like, as it is
Yeah.
already. So props. But yeah, no, yeah, moving was a crazy move, and it was just something. I had an opportunity, I had to go take it, and I kind of like, I read Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. Have you ever read that?
No, I haven't
Oh,
heard of it. What it's about.
it's one of my favorite books. this woman is just one of the brightest people ever, and she wrote a book called Dare to Lead, and it's just about, you know, how to embrace vulnerability and how to just, you know, acknowledge that, you know, you gotta go through some ups and downs, and you're gonna be some challenges. You can't not expect challenges. You know, it's just like naive to think otherwise. But when you do hit them, just, you know, rock with them, and then, you know, take a couple things in on the positives of the day, and then start the next one, you know, off on a good note. So she's just like, you know, these are some ways to just take on that vulnerability to, like, you know, kind of expand into, you know, what you want. So I kind of read that book and at the beginning of quarantine, or, you know, when things were kind of getting weird in February, and before, you know, a couple months later, I got laid off from a job that I loved, and like, you know, had to pivot. Like I couldn't not mope around. That's just not. Everyone has their own coping mechanisms. I think, unfortunately, like sometimes it's a blessing and a curse. But when you have like an ambition, or, you know, you can't like just settle. There's signs and interconnections to everything, and it's really good to see how it all turns out. Super blessed. You know, there's a lot going on. I'm just happy I'm healthy and safe and all that, you know, in a nice home on my own. So, and I'm sure you can say the same, but no.
It's crazy. You said something about signs, and I'm such a firm believer in signs and number synchronicities as kind of being like whatever people believe in, you know, the universe, God, higher power.
Sure.
But I'm telling you, if you,
you know,
when you pay attention to that stuff, it is mind blowing. Like for me, I see like it's always the number 44 and 77. And I kid you not, like I'll usually see some combination of those like multiple times a day.
That's
and
amazing.
I'm like, all right, here we go.
It's like, oh, you're getting like premium gas, and it's like, oh, 244.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, stuff like that. Like phone batteries, 44%.
Yeah. All right. Wow. That's awesome. That's kind of like, have you seen Lost?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was such a good show.
It's kind of like Hurley's, like those numbers Hurley had. I'm still finishing it, so I'm on seasons.
That was such a good show.
I'm on the end of the season, so I'm almost getting there. And I'm like somewhat with it there. It's been a really intellectual, like, it's been a trip. It's
a wild ride. That show is a wild ride.
But you're absolutely right. Like, I think they hit the nail on the head in that show. I think that has a lot of other meanings to it, not just like drama and like action and guns and stuff, like, you know, Hollywood stuff. If you actually dig deeper, which is like what the cool things about like film and everything is like, if you get on the same level they're trying to get on, like, you know, what not to go on another tangent, but like I watched Wall-E the other day too, and I was just like,
oh, is that the robot movie?
I was like, because I just got Disney Plus, like I just moved out, and I need to relax sometimes. So I was like, you know what, I'll just put on Wall-E. I don't know, but the statement behind that is like really in your face, you know, kind of like, holy crap, this is pretty intense for a kid's movie. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of like Disney movies and stuff that have deeper meaning, and honestly everything around us, you know, music, all that kind of stuff. You could go on for hours, like dissecting, you know, layers and layers of meaning.
I think that's what goes on in my head all day, honestly, to be honest with you. Like, that's just like maybe where I definitely probably have some sort of ADHD that I address, and that's where meditation comes in. But sometimes I just like go all over the place.
Oh yeah, me too. My mind's like a million miles a minute, like all the time. I always have so many ideas, and like I always want to do 1,000 things at once.
It's like I literally need to just like write down everything and like make Siri reminders now. Like, I don't even know. It's crazy.
Yeah. So you were talking about meditation a little bit, and I'm always curious to hear. I ask everyone that comes on what your take is on the mind-body connection and how you've kind of come to understand that.
My take is really just breathing. The mind-body connection, I think the basic thing that when it comes down to that core connection is our most innate thing, which is to breathe. And that really helps me focus a lot. I think that would be my main connection. And I finally, you know, like a lot of people recommend finding your center and core, or, you know, things like that. I finally found that the other day when I was like relaxed in a pool. It like takes a lot for me to kind of like get, but I was doing some like core stretching and like yoga and just listening to some music and which is a nice daily routine of mine. I love it. It's like the best thing ever in the morning.
Listening to music?
Listening to music a lot. I listen to music like all the freaking time.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, but but yeah, no, I was like, I took a big breath in and exhaled through the mouth. And then I like opened up my stomach to like a place where I was like, that might be my, like my core, like that connection to the physical self, that like, it felt nice to like actually, you know, find your center, which was like weird, but because everyone's like, oh, find it. I was like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about was this, like this, because I'm new to yoga and like I'm a loud, you know, Boston guy, so it's like, you know, it's all new to me on the yoga stuff. Like I wasn't doing yoga with like any of my parents or like any relatives. Like this has all been through quarantine. I'm still learning a lot. Like I did like a couple of YouTube and Peloton stuff, but like, I don't know, just been doing like random activities online.
That's, when you talk about your core, I kind of think of it even too from like an exercise standpoint. When you tell people, oh, engage your core, that gets lost in translation so much of the time, where people are like, what does that even mean? Like, and I always just tell people, like, pretend someone's about to punch you in the stomach and you're like, oh my God. And then your core will most likely be engaged, like with whatever you're doing.
For sure.
Yeah.
I did, cycling is something that I really struggle with. Like that's something that I want to get better at. But I
love cycling. Oh my God.
I just need to make that pivot. Like I haven't. I did one. I know how difficult it is. I literally did one like I don't know, a couple months ago, and I couldn't walk after. Like I just was super tight. I was just like oh my gosh, this is crazy. So respect to the cycling community for sure.
It's such good cross training for running. And I have a spin bike that I bought at the beginning of quarantine, thank God. And I'm like a spin instructor too, outside of everything else. And I love it so much. Like it is so fun to me, and it's such a good workout. And I think of it as like dancing on the bike, honestly, and it just makes it a lot more fun.
Oh, I love dancing. Yeah. That kind of sounds like it too. I just wish I was like able to do that. I don't think I could like do that just yet, but I'll wait on it. I'll keep
baby steps.
Yeah, I'll keep practicing.
Yeah. So you mentioned something about how you dance as a part of your morning routine. So you want to talk about that? I wanted to make
that clear, and I wanted to put that in my notes for this podcast because I was like, I wonder if anyone else just like wakes up and, you know, puts on some absolute gems when they're hours and like just get ready for the day and just like, you know, get after it. Put water like right directly, you know, hit you right in the forehead just to wake you up. Like I love showering in the morning, and I love listening to, you know, this morning I was listening to like my Quarantino playlist. I was like, I need some like some soul, some like, I don't know. I need to get like in a way better, like just an uplifted mood, you know, and music does that for me. Because I woke up, I was like, everyone like sometimes you just roll over, you're like, oof. It's like, I'm tired. Like I'm beat. Like this sun out here in Arizona is like 115 every day.
Oh my gosh.
It's wearing me down. But like this morning I woke up in that, I love waking up dancing and then just like hitting the shower and then just, I drive a lot for my work, so I'm just ready to go, and I just listen to music all day. It's like that's like my go-to. That's my rock.
Oh, me too. It's an instant mood booster, and when I shower, I like transform my shower into just like, I like it to be like an immersive experience. So I have speakers in my bathroom. Like I turn the lights down. It's like, and like the bass is thumping. Like, you know?
100%. Like I brought my Sonos. I unplug it in my. Well, I should probably just get to it at this point. That's the point of Sonos. But like, I just unplug that thing and I just go into the bathroom. Like I have a small studio and I just do the same exact thing. No,
It's such a good way
really
to like
just
improve
like
your mood.
could be anything. It's or just like vibe with your mood, whatever that is. Like it could be a bad mood, like for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you're feeling, there's a song for it.
Yeah. Like
you know,
I just put on some Metallica if I'm just like, damn, like I'm angry. I don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly. Or even when I'm exercising sometimes and I'm like lifting, I really like to listen to like heavy metal.
Oh,
just like push through it, you know?
Oh, hell. That's badass. That's awesome. Yeah, same. For sure. I love it. Yeah, I wanted to point that out.
Well, I think it's important.
Can
anyone
else relate with this? Like, I don't know if this is just a me thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, leave a comment if you dance in the morning or if you have a shower playlist, because I certainly do.
What song are you listening to? Like, for real?
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear. Yeah. But it's such a like. I think you could take that even with just workouts too. Is like have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
I was talking to someone else about it the other day. I'm like, just have fun. Like, just be in the moment. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Like, put on some tunes and just have fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What's your intention? That's something that I learned. It's like there's different intentions. Like I competitive. Like I was competitive in track a lot. So that kind of screwed up my perception of running at first, you know?
Yeah.
And then like I finally got back into like really liking running again, like the past year or so. I think it's great to just get up there and it's gritty, especially running on like a trail. I love running on trails. That's like my favorite thing to do. Especially out here in the heat. It's like actually really nice. It's like a kind of somewhat of like a sauna heat. You know, they say like the dry heat and all that. Like it actually is a thing. Like it feels pretty nice like running out here on on like a trail on the mountain stuff. Have you been out here? Have you hit the West Coast at all?
No. Okay. So Arizona has been on my list for a long time. Like I'm very drawn to like the desert climate lately, and I don't know why. Like there's something about I just want to like see some of the nature stuff. Sure. Yeah. I've been to California, like LA, Santa Monica, but I haven't like the Grand Canyon, all that stuff. I'm like,
I
really, it's on my list. But yeah, I haven't been out there.
Well, if you're in the area, let me know. I'll be out here for a minute.
Yeah. So I'm actually really interested to hear because I'm very curious about how the process works of removing alcohol from brewing. So what does that even look like?
Yeah. So like pretty much on a high level, I don't even, really know how Athletic does it and, how other people do it. It's more of the concept where it just comes down to, fermenting like hops or not. Some people, so like that's where the alcohol ferments and that's where it comes from. Like, but then, sometimes there's different ways to remove it, like through heat or, for some other techniques. Some result in other things. Heineken Zero has their own way of making Heineken Zero. They have a big Heineken brand and, a lot of their non-alc could come from a potential batch where they just do another process to it. Whereas Athletic is actually a pure like non-alcoholic craft, which is a little bit different than like the Pilsner. It's more ales and, hops and malts. I'm still learning about it myself. I'm not like a professional by any means, but just the process is different. It's like kind of wizardry. We just like to call it wizardry for athletic terms. Have some athletic, we'll if you want to kind of go alcohol free like yourself and myself and others out there who are just, curious or whatever, like, please try Athletic. I think it's definitely something that has changed my perspective on the non-alc and the community around it. But just that's just my bias though. I've just been drinking it for like 3 years. But I love it. Yeah, it tastes good. We have a good alcohol. We have a non-alcoholic IPA that's like 70
that's
calories. Cool. and it's just, you know, and then we also have a gluten removed, upside down with, it's our golden ale. It has some florally notes and stuff. It's really refreshing on like a nice, you know, beach day or something. If you need to drive home or something, you know,
there you
I
go.
like
For all you
doing that.
gluten-free people out there like myself, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, you know, up to your discretion,
Oh
but it
yeah.
is gluten removed. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
personally think, you know what I mean? So, you know, we give you the facts. You can take it how you want. You know, that's just all I can say about, you know, how to like remove the alcohol and stuff. But yeah, we have a various amount of selections. If you like raspberry goses or like a raspberry tardy beer, we have a non-alc with
Wow.
that. Like, we're getting pretty creative with, we just did a pan mass challenge,
Oh,
collaboration.
nice.
um, we raised about $55,000, I think, on
That's
that,
awesome.
for the pan mass Jimmy Fund, which
Yeah.
is awesome. I was very happy to, but yeah, we're always doing some collabs and stuff, so we're always having fun here at Athletic and kind of making, you know, life without like compromising, you know, there with, alcohol, if that ever would be an obstacle in your way, like it has in a lot of different ways for
Yeah.
everyone. So I mean, and it could be not at all. So like, good
Yeah,
for you.
that's
Like,
true.
like I wish I was like that, but like I'm like a lactose intolerant when it comes to alcohol. You know,
Yeah.
it's like lactose intolerant people really shouldn't drink milk. Like, you know, sometimes with alcohol, it can be, you know, detrimental to me, like lactose would be. So it's really just, you know, that's how I view it. I think that's how the majority of people should do it. It's just like a lifestyle choice.
Yeah, I think viewing it as a lifestyle choice is a transformative perspective to have, because that's how I've like viewed it for myself. Is I just know how much better I feel
Mm.
physantly
Yeah.
and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it up.
Yeah.
I
Good.
like how it's going for me. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Great to
and I think
hear.
it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different, perspective on a different story.
Yeah. I hear you.
Would you have any tips for someone who was maybe looking to kind of try to cut alcohol out?
Yeah. I think understanding, there's a lot of like times where you're gonna be, you know, confused as to why you should. Maybe something like triggered it, like after a long, like a drunk night out. You know, you could say a lot of things or do a lot of things that you really don't even remember or anything, and you can kind of, you know, use those things as an event to change, or you could just look at your health, or, you know, oh, I don't really want to take 130 carbs in, even for just a Bud Light. Like, i don't want
Yeah.
I don't want 300, you know, 420 calories from just like a couple beers. So I think first step for me was just to say, like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to try it out? Like, and then as you go along, I think it just take patience, take your reps, like be active. Like, I think that's my biggest tip, is just to be active, whether it's mentally or physically, you know, meditating or yoga or running, or do something that you've always loved. Like basketball for me, like, has been a huge outlet always. And I just like going out there and shooting hoops, listening to music, and like pretending I'm in the NBA. Like, that just gives me like a good in the end, you know, even if I'm bricking it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. I think that was the biggest thing for me. And surrounding yourself with people who can support you on that, and not the people who, you know, liked you for who you were, in a state where you didn't like yourself. You know what I mean? Or not as much as you wanted it to be then. You know?
Yeah, that's powerful. I totally agree with all that. And also, just from, like you said, from the health standpoint, I mean, that was the one of the biggest things for me, was when I kind of took a step back and I was like, "Oh my God, like you said, I don't want to be consuming this many calories." And then I would always need a snack afterwards. So then
Yeah,
that was just
of
like a
course.
gateway to
Yeah,
like
like for real.
like a mega meal that like was I already had eaten for the whole day. And I was like, you know what? This is holding me back so much. And
Yeah.
it also held me back just from like recovery of workouts,
Yeah.
in terms of like running. And if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have it, in your system for a while, it does make a difference in terms of endurance and recovery and stuff. So that was like
100%.
one of my main reasons for
Yeah.
cutting it out.
I have this thing where I view time as like a tangible thing where it's like, if you invest it like widely, like I want to continue to use it in a way where it's, kind of productive, or, something in a way where it's like, oh, I did that, or, at least I did this today, or I don't know, like sometimes it's a really bad thing when you sometimes straight up just can't, especially in like quarantine, and like that's when you have to learn to adjust and stuff. Kind of viewing it as that, like sometimes I find myself watching something and I'm like, I don't really know if I want to do this right. And then I just shut it off and then like go clean something or like do something that put it
Yeah.
off. You know what I mean? Do you ever find yourself doing the same thing? And like, do you think it's like more of a blessing than a curse, or a curse and a blessing? And in that, like, you know what I mean? Like in the go
I
getter.
know what you're talking about. And I view it a little bit differently. I kind of, something that I do is, everything that I do in my day, like I always try to think of what higher purpose is this like serving. So, I really don't. I honestly, I should probably like chill out and like watch a movie now and then, but like I don't watch Netflix anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just very like focused on what I'm focused on. So I'm always thinking like, okay, how is this like benefiting me? Like, how am I like contributing towards like what I'm trying to work towards? So I guess I do kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm always trying to think of like I won't spend time doing something if I don't feel like it's valuable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But do you also, so I'm glad you see the positive, but like, do you also feel the negative sometimes of it too? Because like when you're straight up or just like, you need to relax, like today I need a relaxing Sunday. And I know that I'm going to be like, something's going to get to me and I'm going to be like, oh, I should probably do this, get go on a race. So I need to like really take time to be present today. Like that's like a key, like today's like a recovery, like type of day, So it's good. We just need to frame it that way. It's like, if I need to perform tomorrow, like I need to like actually chill. So that kind of helps me with like the, that next, like, what do I want to do? I don't know.
I feel that because I'm someone that I have a really hard time just taking a rest day and slowing down. And I know that might sound kind of counterintuitive to some people where they're like, they find it harder to find the motivation to get up and do the workout and to do things. But I find it harder to just like be still and like slow down. So, and I won't realize that I'm stressed until it's almost like too late. So I'm very much into this, mode of like really making sure you take time to recharge your internal battery. And do it before you feel like you're on 1%.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, because we don't want to be broken down somewhere with a low battery, especially these days. I could change a tire, but let's not get to that extreme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you gotta like take care of yourself, and you gotta have balance.
Yeah, for sure.
Something I work on every day.
Yeah, I know, and it's like, it's such a bummer because like, as like a music buff and like being in quarantine, like not being able to just like go out and listen to music, like live performances and stuff like that. Like that's something that I miss big time. Like that was a big outlet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Drinking or not, like, or like,
for sure.
anything like that, or just going out casually, that's like something that I guess everyone took for granted.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like a lot of things that we're taken for granted. I mean, walking into a gym and working out with your friends right next to you, like.
So it's such humbling, crazy times.
Well, you're doing some really awesome stuff, and this was such a cool conversation, and I love hearing the alcohol-free perspective, because again, it's something that I honestly only really my close circle of friends and family like know, that I made that choice. So it's really cool to hear. It's really cool to hear young people that are doing that and kind of exploring.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that, and me share some things that I've encountered, and I hope I can, I think try to share my story to see if it helps others. I don't know. I think it should be talked about more. There's nothing really to be fearful about. It's, just there's a lot of things coming out into light, which is great in these times and in quarantine. And it's really good to just be introspective and not not to externalize things. It's like, let's just do what we feel is right and change ourselves. And that's what kind of sparks the fire in others. I'm a firm believer of that. So, so thanks for having me on and, kind of talking about alcohol free and the journey in athletic even. Again, I'll try to get some codes for you guys and put some links in the bio and all that. You can follow me on like NA Crafts Fan and all that stuff. I'll be bopping around Arizona, having fun and giving out some non-alcoholic craft beer. Totally blessed. Let's make each day, something to hang your hat on. And this is definitely something I've been looking forward to doing. And thanks for having me on and stuff. Let's please keep in touch and all that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, I'm going to leave all of the links in the description for everybody to check out. Dan, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
If you guys are interested, if you're listening, you can always watch on YouTube. So youtube.com/HaleyNoel. If you're watching this, you can also listen to it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That is it, my friends. That's all I have for you today. Sending you so much love and lights. Thank you. Thank you, Dan.